Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excited. It's a really fun day because I got another guest coming up, Nathan from TheElephantPants. They were featured on Shark Tank about a month ago. And every Monday this month, I've got a guest from Shark Tank. I think that's kind of fun. So
nice.
Should be kind of neat. Be chatting with him later. Hey, got a couple of quotes here. No, actually, I got one quote and then some other cool stuff. Success at the highest level comes down to one question. Can you decide that your happiness can come from someone else's success? That's from Bill Walton. That's a good quote.
Okay.
Can you be happy when someone else succeeds, Heidi?
Yeah.
I can. I can be very happy.
I'm happier when I succeed.
I can be very happy when you succeed. Hey, Winnie the Pooh has his own brass statue in downtown Lima, Peru. Did you know that?
I did not. That's
Winnie
super.
the Pooh is huge in Peru, and that rhymes. The FDA has approved a diet pill for dogs. It must be administered once or twice daily. So if you got a fat dog and time...
You're the one who feeds your dog and exercises your dog. It's not the dog's fault if he's obese.
And this is something interesting. A link has been found between dyslexia and low blood pressure. That's kind of weird, but there you go. A couple of interesting things on a Monday.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. You know what today is?
What is today, John?
Thought you'd never ask. It's Monday, April the 10th. It's ASPCA Day. And that, do you know what that stands for? You see the commercials and the sad Sarah McLachlan song. Do you know what that stands for?
I have no clue what that stands
American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. I can agree with that. I don't want anyone to be cruel
I
to
don't
animals.
either.
I wish they would just quit playing the sad music when I'm trying to watch TV and eat my popcorn. I'm like, I got to call and make a donation. I got to do it now. National Farm Animals Day today as well, so it's clearly an animal thing. National Siblings Day today. So, and you know, it's on Facebook every day that it's National Siblings Day.
Right, when is it,
Today is the
really?
real day. No, it's today. So today's the day to actually do that. Salvation Army Founders Day today and Safety Pin Day today. So a lot of stuff going on this Monday, April the 10th.
John and Heidi.
How much do you pay for cable or satellite? Don't forget your DVR rental fees and online movie accounts. When you add it all up, many people are paying well over $100 a month. Some pay way more. What if you could cut that down to zero? There's a device that surfs the net to find shows and programs you like with no monthly fee. Many have already cut their cable or tossed out their dish. If you have internet and a TV, you're all set. Learn more about this awesome technology that can save you money every month at channelsurfertv.com. Use promo code RADIO to save 25% at channelsurfertv.com.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. Police in Northern Ireland are still looking for a 4-year-old who stole a toy truck by driving it out of the store. That's all the kid had to do. The staff watched in amazement as a toddler drove right past the checkout stand in a battery-powered toy truck and just drove right out the front door. His parents were trailing in the wake, and everybody assumed they would corral the boy and return the toy, but the parents and the boy and the toy just kept going. The toy truck has not been seen since.
Where was this?
This happened in Northern Ireland.
It's not like those things go very fast.
Well, it says here,
the store couldn't catch
valued at about $300, the Mighty Mac has a top speed of 5 miles per hour.
Yeah, so
Police are
how on
studying
earth did he get
surveillance
away?
tapes. Well, I think everybody just thought the parents, because they were going, no, you got to bring that back. You got to come back. And they walked out the door and they just kept going. They're like, hey, we're in the clear. Let's run quick. Throw it in the van. So, police are studying surveillance tapes.
That is ridiculous.
In an effort to identify the family of thieves. That is crazy. Everybody watched it happen and they're like, kid's just driving out the front door.
That's a slow motion crime.
Should somebody stop him? Looks like his parents have it covered. Unless, of course, they are accomplices. Yeah. I wonder if if you think that was the plan or you think the kid...
that is bizarre.
That is just weird that would have happened. Anyway, it happened in Northern Ireland. So the good news is, sometimes when we read these stories, we have nitwits right in our neighborhood here, but it's good to know there's some nitwits all over the country and all over the world. We're not alone. There's morons everywhere. We have Your Brain on Drugs coming up. This deal here happened in Northern Ireland. Easy for me to say. And you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is Your Brain on Drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. A couple in Arizona were awakened by what sounded like thunder, but it turned out to be the destruction of their carport and their doghouse by a strange falling object. Upon further inspection, this unwelcome gift appeared to be a 26-pound bag of marijuana.
Whoa!
It had fallen from a smuggler's aircraft when it was flying overhead. One of the victims says that she still wonders why she called the police when she should have made lots of home repairs with the money from the drugs. Yeah, it's a good thing you called the police. Well, you're going to sell drugs now? So
Yeah, that's-
I wonder if their insurance covered that. Because, all these drugs falling
Well,
from
it would
above.
have to. It was an accident.
Yeah, I don't know. Those insurance agents, or not the agents, but because the agents are good, but the ones, the adjusters or whoever it is, who are the ones that decide whether it covers?
Claims adjusters.
They find ways to make sure things don't get covered, I've noticed. So like, oh, well, we can't cover that. That was marijuana from an airplane. See right here, the marijuana clause.
You don't have marijuana coverage.
You should have forked out an extra $2 a month. Anyway, this has been your brain on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. Did you know the world's gullible
What's that?
Hi guys. Did you know the world's most gullible people line up to do some dumb things like this right here. This is a true story that really, truly happened. 130 people in South Africa decided to give some money to a guy who claimed that this company is owned and operated by God. He got $1.5 million from investors.
What?
Yeah. Everybody invested at least $11,000. Again, there were 130 people involved. Some invested as much as $85,000. And the guy, his investment pitch was, this company is owned and operated by God. I'm just getting the money for him. So you give me the money and God's going to put it to good work. As a Christian, I'm very upset that somebody would do that in the name of God. That is not good. That is a bad thing to do. There are bad people out there that claim to be things that they're not, and that person would be a bad person.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your Scoop of the Day. T-Mobile is introducing technology that would allow multiple phones to share the same phone number. I had that when I was a kid. It's a house phone. See?
I see what you did there.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. It was a slow laugh. It was like had to let it kind of sink in. Almost like it was on call waiting or something. In England, a mugger grabbed the night's receipts from a local bowling alley as the manager was heading to her car. She screamed for help, attracting the attention of coworkers who took off after the thief in the parking lot. The chase continued until he ran up to what he thought was his waiting getaway car. He opened the door and jumped in. Guess who it was?
Cop.
It was a police officer patrolling the area. He jumped in. Quick, go, 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 go. I said, where are we going, young man? A man armed with a hairbrush and wearing a leopard print robe attempted to rob a McDonald's in Groves, Texas. Cops spotted the suspect fleeing the scene. After a brief foot chase, he was taken into custody in the parking lot of a Cricket Wireless store. So,
That's lovely.
a lot of details in that story right there.
Well, you have to have the details.
Leopard print.
It's the details that make it funny.
That was kind of funny. What do we have over here? How about this one? Here's something for the teenagers and their parents to think about as they're looking for a summer job. It says here, a national study to interview teens about on-the-job dangers finds that in some cases, federal laws are being broken. Many teens tell researchers they've operated hazardous equipment. They've received no safety training. And they've worked alone after dark. 37% of teens under the age of 16 have worked after 7 p.m. on a school night. That is a violation of federal rules. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
I violated federal rules a lot. I think our daughter does now. Oh, under the age of... Well, yeah, she'll be 16 soon. So pretty soon it'll be legal. Don't think for a minute your boss is buying that store of yours, by the way. Career Builder reports 33% of employers have checked up on sick workers to see if they're telling the truth. including checking their Facebook account and checking their Twitter feed. Well, some have gone as far as to ask for a doctor's note. What happens if you get caught? Well, 20% of employers say you get fired. That's what happens if you're playing hooky. While more than half admit they just reprimand an employee for lying. What do we do around here? Because I'm feeling like I'm going to be sick next week. A new study shows that our brains need rebooting. The study, published in a recent edition of the Journal of Science, found that a plumbing network in the brain of mice flushes out cellular waste while they sleep. The study officials found that several important housekeeping functions take place while you're sleeping. So while you're sleeping, they're cleaning out all the gunk in your brain. The latest survey of teens and tech show that 8 in 10, actually 78%, have a cell phone, and almost half of those, 48%, have a smartphone. So there you go. In a recent study, it shows that people who, quote, like charities on Facebook are less likely to donate to them. So if you like a Facebook charity, your chances or your odds of donating to that charity are lower, not higher.
Huh.
That's kind of weird. You'd think it'd be the other way, wouldn't you?
I don't know.
You'd think so. And this was something I found kind of interesting. Gaius Caesar was a boy. Roman soldiers affectionately nicknamed him Little Boots because the boy had giant military footwear that he sported around. This cute little fella, unfortunately, became not such a cute little fella. He became an emperor, and courageously retaining his boyhood nickname, Little Boots, that's Caligula.
Oh,
So,
he was crazy.
Yeah, and as you may know, he was bloodthirsty, sadistic fiend, is what it says. Our son was telling us a story about
He
Caligula.
was literally nuts.
He appointed a horse to Congress.
Yeah.
So-
He always voted nay.
Oh, that was my joke. You stole it from me. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Imagine the sand between your toes and an ice-cold drink in your hand. Join us this November for 80s in the Sand.
Week-long event with 80s music from over a dozen awesome bands.
Plus, meet 80s icons from the movies like Anthony Michael Hall, Andrew McCarthy, and several others.
Get all the details at 80sinthesand.com.
Use promo code RADIO to get a $200 immediate refund per person.
The website is 80sinthesand.com.
Book your week-long 80s vacation right now at 80sinthesand.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We got a special guest joining us today. It's actually fun because I first saw this product and this company on a show called Shark Tank, and I've talked about that program a few times. I'm a big fan of that and always like watching it, and it's fun to see somebody go on there and get a deal. And the guy that I'm talking to right now is Nathan, and he's with TheElephantPants. Nathan, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How you doing?
Very good. What is it like to get a deal with Damon, one of the sharks? That's got to be kind of good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Not too bad.
It was a journey, I'll tell you that much. It was 2 years we worked on getting there. We had applied to be on the show back in the day. It was pretty early on in the business, so we didn't get a chance to make it that far. But we reapplied, actually, after another year. And obviously made it to the show. But it was a solid, 8 to 9 months of back and forth, interviews, more videos, questionnaires, all kinds of fun stuff. So, seeing it finally happen was very validating. And also, it was validating in general because it kind of proved that what we were doing was awesome and that people really, even an investor like Damon John, saw value in what we were doing.
And the thing that's neat, of all the sharks to have on your team, considering you guys have, it's a clothing item, to any shark that you could possibly get, the one to get would be Damon, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was definitely the perfect guy for us. Definitely the one we wanted to work with in the beginning. We set out to work with him. We also wanted to possibly work with Mark, but that's just because we want to be friends with him and go to Mavs games.
Well, Damon might be able to hook you up with that, too. You just never know.
Yeah, any of them can, let's be honest, though.
Well, the other thing that's funny, again, my wife and I watch the program. I like it more than she does, and she always says, "Oh, I just love Mr. Wonderful." He offered to model the pants for you, didn't he?
He did, and we still might take him up on it. We'll probably come across him at some point in the next, couple months. Yeah, he was actually, very different than he kind of portrays himself. Honestly, like a lot of people assume he's just a dick, but he actually wasn't at all. He was really nice. He had nothing but nice things to say to us.
And the thing that's neat is I think that, his persona is a lot different than he really is. But as fun as it is talking about Shark Tank, I want to make sure we spend some time talking about the Elephant Pants, because your product is a really unique product. Where did you guys come up with the idea for the product?
So we've always been animal lovers, so that was an easy transition for us. But we ran an e-commerce company prior and kind of learned this space, how to retail a good, how to attract a customer, and all that kind of stuff. But we were kind of unfulfilled in what we were doing. It wasn't as validating and rewarding. So we wanted to find a way to give back in some way, make some sort of impact on the environment, the world, something other than ourselves. So we actually traveled over to Thailand. When we were over there, we did the typical touristy things, and one of which was going to what they call an elephant sanctuary. I'm doing air quotes right now, but you can't see obviously because we're on the phone. And when we were there, we just we saw the reality of what most elephants live in nowadays. They were in chains. They were crying, like they clearly been beaten, and like it kind of really, opened our eyes to what they face. And then so we saw that, we came back on a mission to try to help them. So we did a lot more research, and we didn't, because we knew about elephants. Obviously, we've always loved them, but we didn't know the gravity of the situation that they're in. So after seeing it and doing the research, we were set out on a mission. We thought we got to do something. And we actually found. So that's how we got into the mission itself. But then the product that came also from the trip. We found a very similar product when we were over there that we brought back as a gift for our friends and our family. They loved it and they wanted more, but we had no way to get more because it was over in Thailand. I couldn't find them online or anything like that. So we decided, hey, why don't we try to source these and produce them ourselves and sell them online? And we did. So we started with a Kickstarter and set like a really low goal because we just wanted to it really is a market test for us. We just wanted to prove out the demand to see if people would actually buy this kind of product. And they did. And we overfunded the campaign and they kept buying. Still buying today.
Well, the thing that's fun, the product is, there's several different products, but the main product is the pants, and they're very loose-fitting, very comfy, very kind of just very airy, light pants, aren't they?
Yeah. So our core product, like as you mentioned, is the harem pant. Very loose-fitting, really soft fabric, pretty much comfortable in any scenario. Pretty great. But we get a lot of people that wear them, lounging around the apartment. A lot of people wear them to work, to school, to yoga, pretty much anywhere.
Well, if somebody would like to get the pants, I'll be sure to give the website here in just a little bit so you'll be able to go on there and find them. But how does it work? When I buy a pair of pants, how much of that goes to help the elephants, or how is this a cause-related thing? Where does that happen?
Yep. So we partner with several different elephant organizations, and we donate 10% of profit to them for different kinds of programs. So within conservation itself, there's many different areas in which people can participate and help drive the programs. So we like to spread that donation across so that we're touching all of it. Because, the issues that like an Asian elephant versus an African elephant faces is very different, surprisingly. And then, even when you look at decreasing the demand for ivory, or how do you police it, or working on programs that help bridge the gap between elephants and humans and how they can coexist in a more positive environment.
Well, it's been a lot of fun to chat with you about the concept that you guys have here, and I wish you all the very best success. I think you're going to do well. As you went through the process to work with Damon from Shark Tank, have there been some significant changes that you guys have made, or are you kind of doing about the same thing that you were doing before? Or, what would you say has been the biggest thing that you've learned in this process?
Throughout the Shark Tank process, we learned a lot about knowing our I mean, honestly, we had to know our numbers, we had to know our business, and we had to be able to explain it to people. There's things that we did, or I should say we're doing, that, may not have made sense. They weren't the right fit for our kind of activity. And we realized that when we had to explain it to somebody. We ran this campaign, for an example, but it was too hard to explain to someone. It didn't really fit, so therefore it didn't make sense. And then, I'd probably say the biggest thing that we learned during the process was how valuable each thing is. So in understanding our numbers, we got a clear vision and picture of what actually works. What is the most important thing we do? How much do our customers value certain things? And it really helps, guide where we spend our money, where we spend our time going forward in the future to make sure we maximize the success of our business.
Now, you guys were doing well before you got into the Shark Tank. With your exposure to all of the viewers that have seen you on there, what kind of an impact has that had on your business?
The impact has been huge. We saw a big lift the night up. Obviously, it's like 10 million people, I think, that see the show. So we saw about I'd say 10x lift on what we were doing. And, consistently we've seen a higher level of demand as well. So, the organic demand, because obviously, it's a couple weeks later at this point. People have already watched it. They've already caught up on their DVRs. But there's still that added, organic demand. So our overall baseline is that much higher.
Well, Nathan, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. And again, the website for people who want to learn more about the company, TheElephantPants.com. And Nathan is the gentleman that... Now, there were two of you on Shark Tank, right?
Yep. It's myself and then one of my partners, James.
Very nice. Now, how many different people are in the company right now?
There's 4 people total as far as owners, and then we have about 10 or so total staff.
I wish you the very best. I hope things go really well, and have fun working with a shark. That's something that not everybody gets to do, so I would take advantage of that and call on him as much as you possibly can. So.
Oh, we plan to. Don't worry.
Well, thank you again, Nathan. You have a great day.
All right, John. You too.
Again, Nathan is with The Elephant Pants, and they were, again, a guest on Shark Tank a few weeks back. And when I saw it, I thought it was just a really neat thing. And the fun thing is my wife all the time is saying, I love elephants. That's one of her favorite things. So when we saw this, I was like, well, we got to reach out and see if we can chat with them. And I was really glad that they got a deal with Damon, one of the sharks. And again, if you'd like to learn more, their website is TheElephantPants.com. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
It's almost graduation time. If you have a son or daughter finishing high school, you need to hear this. They can go to college without racking up a pile of student loans. Matthew Einstein did. He saved over $70,000 on a top-rate education. Then he built a system to show you how to do it too. Learn how you can use this system for your kids or for yourself. Go to freeeducationuniversity.com. Sign up now and get a free 60-minute private consultation with Matthew. Use promo code RADIO20 to save 20% at freeeducationuniversity.com. That's freeeducationuniversity.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Jonathan Walker in 1844 was the last person branded in the U.S. as punishment for a crime. He had the initials SS branded onto the palm of his right hand as punishment for helping American slaves escape to the Bahamas. So they used to brand people for punishment.
Huh.
I didn't know that. And the SS, you know what it stood for?
What's that?
Slave stealing. That's what it stood for. Huh. There you go. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The last transatlantic Concorde flight touched down in London on Friday, October 24th, 2003. I remember that. Absolutely remember that. The first flight, by the way, of a Concorde was in 1976. I don't remember that. I was 1. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
London's last tram ran July 6th, 1952, as motor buses replaced streetcars in London. It's kind of cool. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The first jukebox in the United States was at the Palace Royal Saloon in San Francisco, California. Guess what year they put this first jukebox in?
What year?
It was November 23rd, 1899, or 1889.
That's
Holy
crazy.
cow. I know. I didn't know they'd been around that long. A couple of fun facts for you on a Monday.
John and Heidi.
Are you tired of the same old 9-to-5 rat race? Sick of not controlling your financial destiny? We partnered with a leading health company whose mission is to support you to build a home-based business and help others be healthier, drop excess pounds, and live longer, more rewarding lives. Best of all, everyone who joins after you is placed on your team. No bugging family or friends. Call 866-741-7242 for more information. Or if you like, text the word income to the same number, 866-741-7242. 866-741-7242.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday. They say Mozart wrote his first compositions at age 5. Just a wee little lad. Mm-hmm. And that's when he started writing music. So this guy, maybe we could call Edith Fuller the Mozart of spelling. Plenty of adults struggle to spell words like colloquial.
Or say them.
What is that? How do you say that word?
I have no idea. I don't even know what it is.
Or odori or saverja. We don't need to know how to say or spell these things. Come on. Anyway, 5-year-old Edith makes it look easy. She beat out about 50 competitors aged 5 to 14 at the Greene County Regional Spelling Bee in Tulsa, Oklahoma, making her the youngest person ever to qualify for the Scripps National Spelling Bee. Her winning word, by the way, was Jana. Says rhymes with banana. So Jana, Janana. That's what it is. How do you spell Janana, Heidi? Janana. It took me that long just to figure out how to say it. How do you spell Janana? No. Jnana.
We talked about this one.
Did we really?
Yes, we did.
I don't remember talking about this one. Anyway, it refers to the acquisition of knowledge through meditation and study in Hinduism.
I know we did because I remember spelling that word.
Did you get it right the last time?
No.
Okay, just wanted to check.
I did not.
Afterwards, she used less tricky words to describe her emotions, feeling, I feel thankful. Edith is homeschooled, and her parents say they discovered her talent for spelling last summer when she correctly spelled restaurant without having to be taught the word. Yeah, we did talk about this, didn't we? I remembered that. So clearly this wasn't last Saturday because it says it happened on Saturday, but I don't know when this happened then. Maybe 2 months ago. I got to go online and find some of this stuff that's maybe not been shared here in the past. Heidi's always giving me guff because I read the same story. See, I completely forget until it's completely done, and I'm like, oh yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
All right. Coming up, something else we probably already talked about. No, it's something new.
John and Heidi.
How much do you pay for cable or satellite? Don't forget your DVR rental fees and online movie accounts. When you add it all up, many people are paying well over $100 a month. Some pay way more. What if you could cut that down to zero? There's a device that surfs the net to find shows and programs you like with no monthly fee. Many have already cut their cable or tossed out their dish. If you have internet and a TV, you're all set. Learn more about this awesome technology that can save you money every month at channelsurfertv.com. Use promo code RADIO to save 25% at channelsurfertv.com.
Drinking plant-based milk, like goat's milk and other non-cow milk.
Goat's milk is not plant-based.
Okay, no, those are two things. So let's try that again. Come from the very popular goat plant. No, it says, let me get this. Let me say it right. Drinking plant-based milk or goat's milk or other non-cow's milk like almond milk, rice milk, soy milk, and coconut milk. Coconuts are really hard to milk, by the way. I've never done that before. Anyway, it's on the rise. For a lot of reasons, including an increase in dairy allergies and perceived, with air quotes, health benefits. But vitamin D fortification of non-cow's milk is voluntary in North America, where cow's milk is required to contain 40 IUs of vitamin D per 3.4 ounces. So they're saying that if you're going to be drinking something other than cow's milk, you got to make sure you're getting some vitamin D somewhere.
I read a study the other day that those other milks that don't come from animals are very, very high in sugar.
Really?
They're enriched with sugar. You think you're getting something healthy, and it's got more sugar than a donut.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I do not know that. All right. Coming up, we got some more fun stuff on the way.
John and Heidi.
They say if you get a chance, opt for the stairs. Taking the stairs can actually help you avoid dying younger. It says during a 12-week study, 69 volunteers used the stairs instead of the elevator, climbing to descent of 23 flights per day is what that's a lot of flights of stairs every day. How much walking do these guys have to do? Anyway, the conclusion, the participants had better fitness level, less body fat, they had trimmer waistlines, and lower blood pressure. all
They
from
don't
walking
live
the stairs.
longer. They just feel like they do because they have to take the stairs every day.
Physical benefits translated into 15% reduced risk of premature death. So there you go.
I took the stairs yesterday, and I thought I was going to die.
I had a meeting with two guys on Monday, and I rode up the elevator with the gentleman, and then I was in there. I was like, I got to go put a quarter in the meter. I'm going to get a ticket. So I ran down the steps because the elevator was really slow. It's an old building. Ran down the steps. He's on the second floor. Stuck a coin in the meter. Ran back up the steps. And it took me 15 minutes to compose myself. And I was sweating like I had just finished working out. So I'm talking to these guys. And I'm like, I ran up the steps. I'm sorry, I'm out of breath. And then I stayed out of breath for like 10 minutes. I was like, I'm clearly out of shape. I should just leave now. You can just say, no, I'm going to leave. I got to go. I need to take a nap. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
It's almost graduation time. If you have a son or daughter finishing high school, you need to hear this. They can go to college without racking up a pile of student loans. Matthew Einstone did. He saved over $70,000 on a top-rate education. Then he built a system to show you how to do it too. Learn how you can use this system for your kids or for yourself. Go to freeeducationuniversity.com. Sign up now and get a free 60-minute private consultation with Matthew. Use promo code RADIO20 to save 20% at freeeducationuniversity.com. That's freeeducationuniversity.com.
John and Heidi.
Heidi, have you ever heard of Simone Gutsch?
No.
Well, she's an aspiring German actress and model and was spending some vacation time at Cocoa Beach in Cape Canaveral. At one point, she decided to check out the ocean and waded out into the waist-deep water. And she said there was nobody in the water. Not many people were around. I found the emptiness beautiful. And the fact that other people started running onto the beach didn't seem to alarm her.
Oh, my gosh.
That's when people started waving frantically at her. She thought they were just being friendly, so she waved back because she didn't see the 16-foot tiger shark.
Oh, and tiger sharks
with his
will eat
large
anything.
fin sticking out of the water, swimming directly behind her. She did get out of the water safely. She didn't really believe the story until somebody showed her a picture with a large shark clearly in view right behind her. Tiger sharks are a common occurrence in the waters at Cape Canaveral, and they're considered highly dangerous to humans. Simone said after seeing the picture, she became terrified and won't be going in that water again. End of story. Now, that is kind of the end of story, but that's just the beginning of the story, because we're going to talk about sharks for a second. When is Shark Week? Is that in June or July or something?
Anymore.
It must be in the summer.
I used to watch it every year.
Yeah, I have
never missed it.
We haven't seen it for like 2 or 3 years, though. We've been missing it.
And I can't even remember when it was now.
I think it must be in the summer. Because I was looking, I had interviews lined up with a bunch of people who've been on Shark Tank. I wanted to do Shark Week on the John and Heidi Show. I thought
you
that
can
was
just Google it. Just
well,
Google
I looked and I couldn't
Discovery
find it
Channel when
anywhere.
there's Shark Week.
Seriously, I looked. I couldn't find it.
Huh.
I have no clue. Maybe I don't know what I'm looking for. Heidi told me earlier that I was calling it the Shark Tank like an old man. The Shark Tank. She's like, wait, I said like over here on the Facebook. So apparently I don't know what I'm talking about. So maybe I Googled the Shark Week. I have no idea. Anyway. But I thought, wouldn't that have been cool to do Shark Week on the John and Heidi Show? Guests from the Shark Tank? Well, from Shark Tank. Anyway, I've been doing every Monday, so we had one earlier today. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I've got some good news for you, Heidi.
Okay.
While losing a limb certainly is devastating.
Hold on, I have something to say. I'm sorry.
That?
Shark Week is July 23rd this year. It starts on July 23rd at 7 p.m.
What kind of amazing technology do you have in your hand
It
there?
took me 1 second. Literally 1 second. When is Shark Week?
Is that what you asked it?
Yeah.
I don't know what I asked it. I think I did that same thing, but I had like 12 different weeks. Huh. There's like this week and this week and this week. I'm like, when is it? Is it the same week every year? Or they move it. Anyway.
You have to ask what for 2017.
Oh, that's what I did wrong. Okay, back to this. While losing a limb is certainly devastating, it doesn't seem to be as debilitating. I can't talk, as it has been in past years. This is a cool story. A U.S. Marine veteran who lost his legs during a tour of duty in Afghanistan, which is really sad. That's so sad.
Oh, that breaks my heart.
He is believed to be the first ever double amputee to become a fully active police officer. It says here he's in the U.S. Matthias Farini, whatever that is. Oh, that's his name. Okay. What? Yeah, Matthias Farini was sworn in on Friday. I was thinking that it says in the U.S. and there's like no period there, so I was thinking that was where he was located.
You're like, where's this?
It's Monday. I
want to go there.
Are we done now? We're almost done. Oh, I got. What's that? They're telling me I need to finish this story. Do I have to? I mean, I already blew it. So can I just go? Matthias Ferreira was sworn in Friday as an officer with the Suffolk County Police Department in New York. 6 years after he stepped on an IED in Afghanistan. I've got a link to the story where everything is pronounced properly and everything is actually spelled out really clearly.
What an awesome story.
It is. I think that's really cool that he's now a full-time active duty police officer. And there are some people who would let that kind of thing get him down. And this guy's like, no, I'm gonna move on and keep going. Link to it at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. I'm going to go rest my brain and hopefully be able to speak tomorrow. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.